Have you ever felt that your daily life or weekly routine lacks enthusiasm and just kind of feels repetitive? I know I personally have at different time periods, and I think that most of us have. If you felt like this at some point, the book we'll be talking about today could help you recharge and get back in the game when those times come. The book talks about the 10 main human drives and how we can activate them to maintain a high level of enthusiasm, joy, and sense of fulfillment in our everyday life. So without further detail, let's get it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Algorithm Empowerment. Today we'll be talking about a book called The Charge, Activating the 10 Human Drives That Make You Feel Alive by Brendon Burchard. If you find that you'd be interested in reading the book after the review, we provided links in the info section below where you can purchase the book at the lowest price on Amazon. In Brendon's book, The Charge, he says that the baseline of our human motivation has risen in the past 100 years. People don't feel joy or enthusiasm when engaging in activities that would have made them feel these emotions 100 years ago because the challenge for these things has decreased with modern day technology. What made us feel energized and happy doesn't really apply anymore because the accessibility to many things has become less difficult and a lot of the challenge that we thrive on has been taken away. In this book, he talks about the 10 different drives that will help you maintain a consistent level of aliveness while engaging in your everyday activities. So, what are the 10 human drives that make you feel alive? The first 5 are your baseline drives. These are the drives that get you to that new and elevated baseline of human motivation that's changed in the past 100 years. If the 5 baseline drives are fulfilled, it leads to a comfortable and happy life. These drives include Number 1, the drive for control of your work, life, and environment. Number 2, the drive for competence. You feel worthy in your area of practice or work. Number 3, the drive for congruence. You feel that your core values are congruent with your actions. Number 4, the drive for caring. You care for others and are cared for by others. And number 5, the drive for connection. You feel connected to the world at large. So the last 5 human drives are your 5 forward drives. These are the drives that Brendon says shake you up and demand boldness. Now, a lot of people might think that being shook up is a bad thing. An example is when an artist or musician doesn't release their work because they're afraid of rejection, or when a new healthcare professional doesn't take charge of their craft due to the fear of making mistakes and receiving criticism from other professionals. There's a little bit of nervous energy with fears like these, but that nervous energy is the same energy that transmutes into aliveness when an individual decides to be bold. That same fear is the dormant energy that needs to be awakened in order to live the charged life that Brendon talks about. So the 5 forward drives are number 6, the drive for change, wanting and allowing change in order to feel more fulfilled. Number 7, the drive for challenge, kind of doing things that are outside of your comfort zone and that stretch you. Number 8, the drive for creative expression. When someone walks into your environment and sees your work, it should have you written all over it, Brendon says. He also says in the book that there's 7 billion people in the world and only one you, and that you should live that. Number 9, the drive for contribution, to contribute and give to other people in your work or other areas. And number 10, the drive for consciousness. Now, all the drives from the book were important, but today we'll only be focusing on one, which is the second forward drive, the drive for challenge. Now, many of us shy away from challenge and avoid it because we think that our life will be more harmonious if we have less challenges. The reality is that if we want to experience growth and a level of aliveness that goes beyond our current level, we must welcome new challenges. Brendon says in the book that all the spiritual, psychological, and physical growth that we've experienced up until this point has been a direct result of us enduring real challenges. The challenges that we would usually shy away from if we didn't take ownership of our intentions and go towards these challenges despite our initial feelings of inadequacy. If there's something that you really want to do that seems challenging, go for it. And if there's no way that you can get out of the fear that goes along with this something, then go for it in the midst of fear. Like we said earlier, somewhere along the line, the energy of fear changes its frequency into an intense feeling of aliveness, especially when your intentions are aligned and your convictions are coming from a place of depth and service to other people. Brendon says the 5 criteria for real challenges are as follows. Number 1, they demand singularity of focus, meaning they're things that engulf you completely and you can't multitask while engaging in these activities. Number 2, they stretch our efforts and capabilities, meaning they're things that are outside of our comfort zones. Number 3, in real challenges, you have the ability to score performance, meaning you can check back on your progress as you go. Number 4, real challenges allow for a sense of completion, meaning if you have finish lines and payoffs, it'll allow you to follow through and continue with your challenge, especially when it gets tough as you progress. And number 5, sharing of experience and achievement. Challenges are tough, so being able to share them with people that you care about is beneficial and the last criteria for a real challenge. Brendon says the 2 main things that hold people back from new challenges are unmet expectations and the fear of rejection. The best way to overcome these obstacles is to purposely decide before the challenges where we will derive our joy from. When approaching a new challenge, don't base your joy on the outcome. Base it on effort. If you have a bad day at work or you finish a project that doesn't succeed in the way you wanted it to externally, honor the internal efforts that you put forth during the new challenge and find joy in that. Improving our efforts is the determining factor of how alive we feel with the real challenges that we decide to pursue. So the forward drive for challenge was our key insight from The Charge by Brendon Burchard. We encourage you to read the book in its entirety because all the other 9 drives were critical and we only focused on 1 of the 10 here. In closing, I'd like to recite a quote on challenges that Brendon also recites in the book. We've replaced the masculine terms with feminine terms at some points because the magnitude of the quote's importance goes beyond gender. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends herself in a worthy cause, who at worst, if she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Whoever you are, wherever you are, and whatever you do, enter your arena and fully accept the challenge. And always remember, when it starts to get tough, keep giving it.